Greetings to all. I am Dr. Rajakumari, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, RMD Engineering College. In this lecture, we will see the process of collection of data. Statistical data are the basic ingredients of statistics on which a statistician works. Data collection is the process of acquiring the information from different sources about the topic under research. In the process of collection of data, we must first have an idea on what a data is, and after collection of data, how we are going to classify the data. Then only the process of collection of data will have a certain meaning. Data is broadly classified into two types as qualitative data and quantitative data. Qualitative data is otherwise called as a data which corresponds to the attribute of the nature of data which is collected. The quantitative data is otherwise called as numerical data. Further, the qualitative data is classified into nominal and ordinal. As the name suggests, nominal data corresponds to the naming of the data which is collected. Ordinal data is called the data which is ordered, which corresponds to ordering in some specific way. It's called as ordinal data. The numerical data that is collected is classified into discrete or continuous. So discrete indicates the data which is collected as, say, for example, the number of students in a class. It is discrete in nature, or it is the age of a person, say 23. It is discrete. Whereas we say continuous, data is continuous means it is not a specific data, but it will take values between certain range. The marks obtained by students from 0 to 100. Or we say it is the height of a person, weight of a person, all the temperature in a particular day. All these are continuous in nature. So the qualitative data results from a process that categorizes or describes an element of a population, whereas quantitative data results from a process that quantifies, that is either it counts or measures. For example, if we say color of the car is red. So here color refers to the qualitative data which is collected, which is nominal in nature. We say he is thin. So it is his nature, it is a nominal data which gives that, which is describing the attribute. For example, we say it is the coffee is hot. It is a nominal data. Whereas it is, if we classify as well, whether the coffee is hot, very hot, or it is warm, it is cold, very cold. When we arrange it in some specific order, it becomes ordinal data. Let us discuss these type of data, these parameters in detail. When a data is said to be qualitative, when it consists of attributes, labels, or numerical entries. When it is called nominal qualitative, it is a nominal data is defined as the data that is used for naming or labeling variables without any quantitative value. Ordinal data is a type of categorical data with some specified order. The variables in the ordinal data are listed in an ordered manner. If, example, we have a very hot, hot, cold, very cold, warm, all these are nominal data when we consider it individually. But when it is placed on a scale and arranged in a given order, say very hot, hot, warm, cold, very cold, then they are regarded as ordinal data. Let us consider an example for nominal data. Gender. When we collect gender as a data, it becomes nominal. It is a categorical data coming under nominal. Hair color, housing style of a person, marital status, ethnicity, all these are examples of nominal data. Here are some examples of ordinal data. The first, second, and third person in a competition. The economic status of a person, low, medium, and high. Letter grades, say A, B, C. Education level of a person, whether a person is having an elementary school level of education or high school, college level, or graduate level, or doctoral level, or customer level of satisfaction, such as satisfied, neutral, dissatisfied. All these are examples of ordinal data. Is age ordinal or nominal? Age will act as both nominal data and ordinal data, depending on the question types. For example, if the question is how old are you, it is used to collect nominal data. Whereas if we ask the question, are you the firstborn? Then it is used to collect ordinal data. So age becomes an ordinal data when there is some sort of order which is array specified to that. Next comes what is a quantitative data. That is the data which is otherwise called as a numerical data, which gives some measurements or counts. Here we have a discrete type of data and continuous type of data. Age of a person, weight of a letter, temperature, all these are quantitative data. This can be classified into discrete or continuous. So what is a discrete data? Discrete data has a particular fixed value. It can be counted. For example, we say the number of students in a class. It is discrete in nature. Or the results of rolling two dice, the sum of the numbers. It can be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So all these are discrete type of data. What is a continuous data? It is not fixed, but it has got a range of data. It can be measured. So continuous data are type of data that can be measured. Discrete data or type of data which can be counted. Whereas discrete data is fixed value, but continuous data is not fixed but has got a range of data values. So person's height, the length of a leaf, all these are examples of continuous data. Next, in the process of collection of data, the following important questions are very important in the process of collecting data. What data is to be collected? This will decide the relevant data of study. How will the data be collected? This will give the choice of data. That is choice of data collection. Who will collect the data? It will give the method of inquiry. Where the data will be collected, it will decide the population of survey. Decide the population of survey. When will the data be collected? This will help us to fix the time schedule to complete the data collection process. So before data collection, asking these important questions is very important. So why to collect the data is will give us the data process, the data collection process will help us to gather information from customers and help us to improve the services for everyone. So this data can be used to handle orders, deliver products and services, process the payments, communications about the orders and products, services and promotional offers. What is the importance of data? The data, a good data will allow organizations to establish baselines. They will help us to fix the benchmarks and set the performance goals. So next comes the major categories of collection of data. That is primary data and secondary data. What is the primary data? Primary data is the data which is collected in the first-hand information. It is the raw data which is collected for the first time. Actually, the process of collection of primary data is time consuming and it is also more costly and it is expensive in nature. Whereas the secondary data is not the first hand information, it is the data collected from sources that someone else wants. For example, it can be from websites, it can be from newspapers, it can be from books, they can be from journals, they can be from electoral statistics, they can be from any government publications. So the data which someone else has collected and we use that data for our research purpose, it becomes secondary data. So this is not the first hand information, it is the past data that is available. It is the processed data, but it is not time consuming. It is readily available. It is already readily available in the refined form. So it is a quick and easy method. It's not time consuming. And also it is economical. Now the data sources can be either internal data or external data. So internal data is further classified into primary and secondary. What is the primary data? The That is internal primary means when you create data by surveying people within the organization and use these insights to show factors that influence workplace productivity, then it is internal primary data. What is internal secondary data? When you use data from Google Analytics to show that most of the website visitors search for alternative data products, it becomes internal secondary data. In external data is the data which is collected from sources outside the organization. This can also be primary and secondary. What is external primary? When you conduct interviews with the data science leaders and then collect primary data, it is called external primary. External secondary means when you use the interviews conducted by digital publication, then it becomes external secondary. What is this published data? Secondary data published and unpublished. Secondary data is collected and processed by some other agency but used by the investigator for study. Published sources means like journals, magazines, newspapers. Unpublished data is the research work by teachers, professionals. The records maintained by private and business enterprises. They are called as the unpublished secondary data. So primary data is the data which is originated for the first time by the researcher through the direct efforts and experiences. It is called the first-hand data or the raw data. Primary data collection is expensive. Then we can see it needs a lot of investment and manpower. This primary data can be collected through surveys, observations, physical testing, mailed questionnaires, questionnaire filled by and sent by enumerators, personal interviews, telephonic interviews, focus groups, case studies, etc. These are all the various methods of collecting primary data. What is internal source of primary data means? When data is collected from reports and records of the organization itself, it is called internal source. When data is collected from outside the organization, it is called as external source. Now, what are all the methods of collecting the primary data? That is the experimental data or observational data. It is direct method, indirect method, telephonic interview, mailed questionnaire, and the questionnaire filled by enumerators. So, who is called an investigator? The person who conducts the investigation. It can be an individual person or it can be an organization. Who is called an enumerator? Enumerator are the persons who help the investigators in the process of collection of data. Who is called an informant? Informant are the respondents who supply the information to the investigator or the enumerator is called informant. Now, secondary data collection methods. Secondary data is data collected by someone other than the actual user. It means the information is readily available and someone analyzes it. It can be magazines, newspapers, books, journals. It can be either in the published format or it can be unpublished format. So published data includes government publications, public records, business documents. Unpublished data includes diaries, letters, research articles by professionals. So in this lecture, we have seen the various process of collection of data, like how the data is classified, and then primary data and secondary data. Thank you.